Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Choices, Finding Your Joy. Ah, Paula Vail here. I'm so excited for today's show. I'm so happy to share with you today Dale Smith Thomas. She is a former Mrs. Tennessee, founder of Winners by Choice. She's been featured on Dr. Phil, The Big Idea on CNBC, the Travel Channel, CMT, MTV, and more. She's hosted a television show with Dick Clark. She's also the author of an amazing book, Good Morning Gorgeous. So, welcome, Dale. I'm so
hey, Paula. I say good afternoon, gorgeous, because you're gorgeous sitting there. And how appropriate that I'm a guest on a show called Choices when the name of my company is Winners by Choice.
Yes.
So when my publicist told me about you and I started researching you, I was just so excited. So first of all, thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for the difference that you're making, and thank you for letting me share a little time with you this afternoon. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. That's my home. So to all of you from beautiful Music City, I say hello.
I love it. I love it. Oh, and I have had the pleasure of going to Nashville once in my life. It was so fantastic.
We're a great city. I say that we're a big city, but we still have kind of that small southern town feel, and everybody's always helping everybody. And I actually grew up just over the state line down in North Mississippi. So much to my mother's dismay, I moved north. But I've been in Nashville for over 30 years, and it's home now. And this is where I base everything that I do. I travel around the world as a motivational speaker, as you said, as an author. But this is my home base when I have time to rest and restore.
I love it. I love it. Tell us a bit about this amazing journey you've had. You know, beginning with being Mrs. Tennessee and everything that happened after that.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for asking. Well, first of all, I was born and raised in a little tiny town in North Mississippi. I say it's a map dot. My name is Dale. Yes, that's my daddy's name. And I have been solicited by the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines. So I grew up with actually a very, very low self-esteem. And so, you know, it's been such a journey of life 101 and realizing all of the principles that you can learn along the way that can change your life. If you would have told me 30, 40 years ago that I would make my living now as a professional speaker and out in front of the public, I was the girl that wouldn't raise my hand in class. And I grew up in a community way below the poverty level. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. But I had a mentor in my life who was also my friend that changed my life. And she was my piano teacher. And she was crippled in a car accident at age 11. And she was told she would never walk again. But because of her faith and her belief and all the things that I teach now, she not only learned to walk again, she became Miss America. And so that was my first experience with watching someone have faith and chase a dream. And so fast forward, I ended up in Nashville, actually on the road with her for a while. Then I got married and had a child and was staying home with Nick. And a lot of people started telling me about Mrs. Tennessee. And I'm like, well, what's that? You know, I had no idea that they had a pageant for married women, especially one with an 18-month-old running around. And I just realized it might be the opportunity for me to share with other women the journey that I had been on, the journey from coming from this environment to the low self-esteem. I had an eating disorder in my early 20s. And it was through all of these life principles that I learned to embrace that put me in that competition. And I lost the first 2 years. And finally, at age 30, Nick was almost 3. I tell all the girls that are in pageants now that are not married, don't complain to me because I had a baby trying to climb up my dress saying, please hold me, you know. I didn't get to just run around and look pretty. I had a baby. And I really thought that I had to win Mrs. America in order to fulfill this destiny that I felt was the calling on my life to be a speaker. And maybe you're listening to us right now and maybe you have a big dream, or maybe you've had a big dream and it didn't work out. Well, for me, it didn't work out. I didn't win the big sparkly hat. I got the little one, but I didn't get the big one. And I didn't even make the top 10. But I realized that moment that judge's decision didn't have to defeat me. It could define me. And I decided after that I would share my story with anybody that would listen. And from that small beginning in 1990, I began my speaking career. I've now traveled around the world. This is my calling. We now have the new book, Good Morning Gorgeous. And one of my audience members gave me the biggest compliment of all. She says, your name should read Dale Smith Thomas, PhD, the Hope Doctor. And I'm like, oh, I just love that. Because I believe that we need to be hope dealers. You and I, you're a hope dealer. And I believe that hope is helping other people excel. And if everyone that's watching us just today said a word of encouragement, gave a little bit of hope to someone else, the only way we're going to get rid of the darkness in this world is to turn on more light. And so now I traveled around the world as a hope dealer. That little boy that was climbing up my dress is now 31 years old and a race car driver.
Oh my gosh. Oh
yes.
my God.
So that's a little bit of my history. And like I said, Good Morning Gorgeous just came out, and that was a hard book to write. I wrote about my eating disorder. I wrote about my first marriage. I said, I affectionately call my ex-husband my starter husband. And I write about that journey those are journeys you don't expect to make, but you either go through it or you grow through it. And I learned that with every experience, we have an opportunity for growth if we will stop, pay attention, and lean in and learn. And so that's how I've lived my life. That's how I continue to live my life. Life is always going to be filled with challenges. It's just how we react to them.
Yes, yes. And wouldn't you say that continuing to have that hope, even though we have challenges, that means we're not giving up?
That's right.
Yeah.
I have a language section in one of my presentations where I talk about transforming your language, and we get up and it's just automatic to say, I'm tired or I'm stressed out. I mean, it's the word that, kids are using. And I say, if you will wake up in gratitude and stop saying I'm stressed out and look up and say I'm blessed out, because if you woke up today and you were able to see the light of day, there are blessings in your life. And so we've got to remember that what we focus on gets bigger. We can all find problems. Negative is normal, but we have to search for the positive. And that's why I commend you for what you're doing, for putting light out there in the world and giving that and paying that forward, because we can all focus on what's wrong. Let's start today to focus on what's right.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Dale. And, that's such a powerful statement. What we focus on,
Gets bigger.
and we go. Yeah.
And that's how I started actually writing Good Morning Gorgeous. I would ask around the world, how people start your day, because I believe that however we start our day is what grows throughout the day. It's just like it's our spiritual and emotional foundation. Just like they taught us in kindergarten that, breakfast was the most important meal of the day. Well, I believe whatever you're doing to feed your brain and your spirit, the first 30 minutes, 40 hour of the day, just is the base for the rest of your day. So I was on a stage one time and I said, okay, let's do a little attitude check. Let's see how everybody got up this morning. And I looked out there and, divine intervention. I said, how many of y'all got up and looked in the mirror and said, oh, good morning, gorgeous? And of course, there was a man in the back of the room going, I did. Like, of course you did. And that happens now every time I share that, because the guys are like, regardless of what they see, and good for y'all if you're listening, whatever they see, it's still gorgeous. It don't make any difference what the mirror shows them. But ladies, if you're listening to us, I know because I've done it and it's still a journey. We get up and look in the mirror and go, oh, good Lord, what happened? What happened to my hair? What's this on my face? And we go to war before we leave our bathroom. And so I just said, let's start every day, regardless what the mirror is showing us, finding something gorgeous. And then I encourage you not only to say that to yourself, and in fact, I've got a hot pink bracelet on here somewhere that reminds me to say, good morning, gorgeous. And if any of your listeners, viewers want the bracelet, just get in touch with me, dalesmiththomas.com. We'll send you a bracelet that says good morning, gorgeous, to remind you. But if we all started doing that, then what if we shared it with 5 people every day?
Yeah.
It's now common with my girlfriends. Hardly any text comes out that doesn't say good morning, gorgeous, or hey, gorgeous. And if we shared that little bit of light with each other, it can change the way people see us or accept us and themselves. Now they're going to think you're weird at first, so let me just put that out there. People go, what is wrong with you? Why are you saying good morning, gorgeous to me? And, a lot of times women do not know how to accept a compliment. We give them back. And I believe every compliment, whether you agree with it or not, that person has given you a gift. And I believe it's disrespectful to give that back. So if someone compliments you, don't say, oh, this thing, I've had it 10 years. No, my hair looks awful. That's what we do.
It's what we do.
It's what we do. We need to say thank you and accept that gift and believe it and stand in that. So I say to everyone that's listening, good afternoon, good morning, gorgeous, wherever you are. Hello, gorgeous.
Yes, I love it. And I am so going to get on that wagon, Dale.
Yes.
I'm going to start doing that every morning to my friends. Good.
That's right. If you will text them. Now, I do this in a corporate event, a 2-day event, and I share that on, a Thursday night. And Friday morning, I asked the entire group, did you guys send this out? And a girl in the back of the room raised her hand. She said, can I tell you what happened? And I said, please do. She said, I sent it to everybody in my office, and at 8:30 this morning, this is what I just got. Are you drinking this early? Because, if people ask you how you are and you say, oh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, people are so used to hearing that. Mm-hmm. But if we say, I'm fantastic, I'm awesome, hey, I'm gorgeous and blessed out today, they'll go, why? What's wrong with you? Yes. And I believe that we are responsible for the energy we bring in the room. And I tell my audiences everywhere, when you walk in the room, you bring the weather with you. And are you 80 degrees and sunny? Mm-hmm. Are you cloudy with a chance of rain? Are you a full-blown hurricane? You get to choose that. And a positive attitude is a choice. It is not an emotion. Because I'm sure like you do, Paula, there are days we don't feel like it. We don't feel like it. I am all different time zones. Just last Thursday, I did 4 presentations in one day, which is just really, really hard. And, by the 4th event, did I really feel like it? No. But if you put yourself into that motion of being positive and stepping forward, let your emotions catch up. Because you've got to act better if you want to feel better.
Yes. And, think about, we get up, we really don't think we're gorgeous. We look in the mirror and think, okay, what do I have to do to get gorgeous today?
Right. All you got to do
is feel like we're already there.
That's right. And it's because of the images and the messages we're telling ourselves. I tell people there's voices in your head and they're talking. The most important conversation you're ever going to have is the conversation you have with yourself. And I wrote about it. I've got the book here. I wrote about it in the book. And what I did in the book, because I don't know about you, but I'm a note taker. And when I read a book, I'm writing. And so I turned this book into a workbook because I wanted people to have to do the work right there, to start doing the work. And no, we don't feel gorgeous, but we make it worse by telling ourselves everything that we can't stand. So I encourage you, if you're listening, tomorrow morning, you've got to break the habit. I grew up dirt poor on a farm in Mississippi, and every time it rained, if my daddy drove the truck out into the field, it caused a rut. And when the field dries out, it's still easy to drive in that rut. Well, guess what? You've got these ruts of negativity running in your head, this automatic habit of telling yourself you're not attractive, you're not gorgeous, you're not whatever it is, and you've got to break the habit. And it doesn't matter how many times someone else tells you you're gorgeous. If you don't feel it from the inside out, you can never accept that gift that's coming to you. And one of my really good friends here in Nashville, his name is Jonathan Kane, and he's a designer, and was actually on Project Runway. And we just had a meeting 2 hours ago. His entire purpose is to make clothing and gowns and all kinds of cocktail wear to help women feel gorgeous. And he said, Dale, it's amazing to me how many women I can wardrobe them and I have to convince them. how special and how gorgeous they are. And he said, that's my passion. Yes, I love doing the designing part, but the bigger mission that I have right now is to help these women feel gorgeous and find something gorgeous. So what if all of us that are part of this show today, let's go out and help someone else find a little bit of gorgeousness in themselves tomorrow and help them start to believe. And if they try to give it back, gently and lovingly say, I'm not going to take that compliment back. I'm going to give it to you until you accept it.
Yes. Yes. I love that. With this show today, Dale, let's just know that hundreds of thousands of Good Morning Gorgeous is going to go out there, and that's going to blossom to millions.
Okay, I just got a chill because my manager and I set a goal just before the book came out that we would reach 100,000 people with this message of hope. And then you just picked up that number.
Oh, it's there.
Out of the universe. And you picked up that number out of the universe. And we want everyone to be Good Morning Gorgeous ambassadors and part of our GMG tribe, that together that we make a difference in this world just like you are with choices every day. And so, wow, I am humbled that you're so tuned into the universe that you heard that number and affirmed that for me today, because girlfriend, I needed it today, actually.
Yay! Yay! My gorgeous girlfriend. It's awesome. It happened. It's already, so be it. It is done.
It is done. It is done. It is done. And I'm so excited that we talked about before we went on the air that I'm coming to your part of the world, and I'm just going to go ahead and claim and believe I'm going to be able to see you face to face. So you guys look for our picture together on Instagram and Facebook and all of social media, because we will be together in December.
It will happen.
It will happen.
Yes. Tell us about your tours. Like, let's say some of my local viewers and listeners want to come to that event. Tell us how to find out about your tours, sign up.
Sure. Well, you can always go to my website, which is dalesmiththomas.com, and that's my name on all social media. And when you go to dalesmiththomas.com, you can also sign up for Motivational Monday. That was another thing I started on a stage. It just came to me, and I'm like Dolly Parton. If it comes to me, it's coming out of my mouth. And I thought I was tired of people complaining about Monday. So I said, we're going to change that. We're going to make it Motivational Monday, and I'm going to start sharing a message every Monday. And now it goes around the world. So sign up for Motivational Monday. And I tell people, if you don't want to be motivated, hit delete. Mm-hmm. And so I talk about it there. We are starting to put them together. We're starting our first one here in Nashville on January 20th. We're starting a Good Morning Gorgeous Day. And maybe you and I can talk about bringing it to your area, that we bring Good Morning Gorgeous, which is a day of power, passion, and purpose for women, helping them discover their power, their passion, and their purpose. And we're starting to put that tour together. I'm actually coming for a corporate event when I come there to Yakima. I don't know, I haven't had that call yet if it's open to the public or not, but it is a corporate event. But you and I will stay tuned on that. So maybe we can do a GMG workshop there in conjunction with Choices.
Yes, and I have to share, because this is too funny. You and I are just so there. On Mondays on Facebook, I do a Facebook Live every Monday, Paula's Positivity Points.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. See, we were supposed to connect.
Yes.
And I love it. This is what I call God in the universe showing out.
Exactly. We
connect with
who we connect with.
We've got things to do together.
Yes, yes. What would you like to share with those out there, especially, fellow girlfriends, women out there that want to get in that mindset and, deal with their challenges and know they're gorgeous on the inside and get that mindset? What would you recommend they do in the morning, or just any ideas just to help them get started?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, first of all, you've got to make the time. This is not just going to happen. It's not going to roll into your lap. You have to make the time. So the key to that is self-discipline. Just like an athlete or a champion in any area of your life, you've got to set that discipline. I get up every day without an alarm clock at 5 a.m. regardless of what I'm doing, because I need that hour of power before my day gets started to refuel my soul. So if you really want to change the voices and the negativity that the world is throwing out you to be perfect, you see all these pictures on Instagram and Facebook and all these pictures, and we think that they're real when we know that most of them has some photo app that it's gone through, but yet we're judging ourselves against that. And so if you want to change your life, change 30 minutes a day just for you. And women, you guys, we take care of everybody but ourselves. Mm-hmm. So we make sure the kids are up, the kids are fed, the husband's out the door, our friends, if someone's sick, we're there in the South with a casserole, but we rarely stop and pause to give ourselves. Somehow we feel guilty that we're not donating that time to someone else. So change 30 minutes a day, change what you're reading. Because if you want power coming out of your mouth, you've got to put power in your soul. Listen and watch your podcast. Read my book. There are so many great YouTube videos. But get serious about putting that fuel in your soul and be stingy with that 30 minutes. If you will change 30 minutes a day and you do it consistently, at the end of the year, you will have spent 28 8-hour days in personal improvement. I promise you, it will change your life.
I love it. I love it. Yes. And isn't that exciting to know that?
Yes, because otherwise you have no power. You live, my son, which, I say that, he has been both my student and my teacher. And actually one of my best friends is Justin Timberlake's mom. And she said that about Justin. She said, he's been both my student and my teacher. And with Nick, I started teaching him when he was little. Hey, that's your choice. If he would get in trouble, I'd go, I am so sad you chose time out. He'd like, I didn't choose time out. I'm like, yes, you did. Because when you chose that, you chose that. So that's how I taught him. And he was about 10 years old. And one day he came in my kitchen on my last nerve, and everything that I just said I wasn't doing because it's hard. And I looked at him, I said, Nick Thomas, I'm so over you right now. With love in his face, this child says, Mom, you don't have to let my actions affect your attitude. And I'm like, what did he just say? But you know what? Think about it, my friends. How many times a day do we allow someone else's actions to affect our attitude? And when you do, as Dr. Phil says, you give them your power. You give them your power. Nobody can make you mad without your consent. Nobody can make you feel guilty without your consent. Nobody can do any of that. So you stand in your power, but you only start to recognize that when you change the input to change the output. So change that 30 minutes, fuel your soul with information like this, and you won't know your life in a year. I promise you that, because that is how I changed my life.
I love it. I love it. This is so powerful and so exciting, Dale.
Well, I'm just honored that you took the time to talk to me today. Like I said, if anyone wants one of the Good Morning Gorgeous bracelets, I also have a postcard with all those words. I choose instead of saying you're angry, say you're disenchanted. And instead of saying you're nervous, say you're energized. You're not stressed out, you're blessed out. And then I started feeling really overwhelmed with my schedule. And I found myself talking about it. And I'm like, what am I doing? I don't get to complain about what I permit. I put all of that on my schedule. So I decided I wasn't overwhelmed. I was just in demand, right? So if you're just going to be in demand. So ladies and gentlemen, if your day is feeling really overwhelmed and someone says, how are you? Say, oh, I'm just in demand today and blessed. Because we can always change how we view it in the moment. And it is a constant journey. Guys, this is not something you make a decision on one day. It's a decision sometimes minute for minute. I tell people all the time, Delta Airlines tries to take my joy a whole lot. So now they don't get to because I only fly Southwest. So.
Oh, I love it, Dale. I'm in demand. Boy, I'm going to take that one on too.
Yes. And like I said,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and want the postcard, just reach out to me through the website. I'll send you the postcard. I'll send you the bracelet. And all of our social media information is there on the website.
Oh, this is so great. We have about 3 minutes left in the show. So, what last words do you want to give everyone today, Dale?
Well, I think it comes down to the same word, Paula, that's changed both of our lives. And it's simply that word of choice. Every single day that, like I said, that you get to wake up and see the light of day, you have a choice. I believe that there is a formula for success, and it's this: circumstances plus choices equals results. You cannot always control this circumstantial piece, and there are going to be so many things that are outside your control, but you do have a choice on how you react to it. That is not to minimize problems, and many of you are facing problems right now that are huge, and you came across us today because we believe that you were led here. You were led here. There is something here for you, and we've shared this time with you and planted these seeds to you. Now it's up to you to water those seeds and let them grow, and then go out and do the same thing for someone else. Please choose to be a hope dealer today. Get up and tell yourself how gorgeous you are. Stand in that choice and that power of the present moment, and go out and make a difference in somebody else's life today. That's your choice, and we hope we've empowered you to do that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And, here's to all those hundreds of thousands of people
Yes.
making that choice
Yes.
and
Yes.
watching it blossom and spread. That's
Absolutely. I'm going to bring you your autographed copy when I come see you.
thank you, Dale. I'm so excited. Oh,
And I'm gonna come into Portland and then come up to Seattle. So we will make some time somewhere in that little jaunt that I'm gonna do that week to get together for sure.
I am so excited. Oh,
And I would love to be back on your show anytime. Just reach out to my people, and I would love to be back anytime.
Oh, I think absolutely. I think there's a lot more to talk about.
There's a lot more to talk about. Congratulations on all the great work that you're doing. Bless you in the future as you continue to spread the light around the world.
Oh, thank you, Dale. And love, hugs, and blessings to you.
You too.
So honored.
All right. I'll see you in December.
Oh, see you in December.
Okay.
And everyone out there, love, hugs, and blessings. Thank you for joining us today. And oh my gosh, what we have started. And I'm just honored to have everyone out there a part of this beautiful choice and energy flow that we're creating together. Bye, everyone. Bye, Dale.
Bye.